Hey everyone, it's Léo Melanson here, and this is a rough cut review for Captain Underpants today. Captain Underpants follows the story of George and Harold, who are two fourth graders. They will pull pranks all over the school, just goof off all the time, and most importantly, they like making comics with each other. They make a bunch of different comics, but their main star, their favorite creation, is Captain Underpants. He's inspired by the fact that most heroes look like they're wearing their underwear on the outside. He actually is only wearing his underwear. Things go pretty normally until the principal of the school, who's had enough of them, decides to try to separate them into different classes. Because of this, they decide to hypnotize the principal. One thing leads to another, and they hypnotize him into believing he is Captain Underpants. This happens every time that they snap their fingers, and every time they want to turn him back to normal, they have to spray water on his head. At the same time that this is happening, the science teacher for the school retires, and a new science teacher, Professor Poopy Pants, yes, that is his real name, starts working, and he obviously has some evil intentions. So, why did I see this movie? I used to be a fan of Captain Underpants. I read the books multiple times. I actually really enjoyed this series. The animation style of the movie reminded me a lot of the Peanuts movie. It's a 3D style that kind of looks like clay modeling to me, which I really enjoy, and it has more potential for the animation to be kind of wacky and zany and all over the place. And luckily, both with the Peanuts movie, where, like, that was the main attraction for me wanting to go see it, and this movie, the animation really shines. Like, that is the main thing you should actually be going to see this movie for, if you ask me. This movie looks so animated, looks so cartoony, it looks so wacky. The character models are actually very on point for what the original books looked like. And the way they move, it's just like old Warner Brother cartoons. There's actually a few different scenes in the movie that are just like so fantastically well choreographed that I think they're must-sees. Lots of physical comedy, it's great. And I want to see more animation like that. They really let themselves go all out with how this movie looks. Because this is animated, I feel like I should mention the voice actors. I don't pay attention to actors when it comes to movies, especially animated movies, because I feel like when you have someone really famous, it might skew your opinion of the movie. So I didn't really know who was in it, but Kevin Hart plays George. Thomas Middleditch plays Harold, and they both do fantastic jobs playing the characters. Their voices are like exactly the voice that I would hear in my head when I was reading the books as a kid, so they were like perfect. Then we get to Ed Helms, who plays Mr. Krupp, the principal. And when he started, I wasn't really sure about what to think of him. I didn't really think he was mean enough as the principal. He sounded very generic, like a regular guy. That was until he turned actually into Captain Underpants. And his voice for Captain Underpants is spot on. Captain Underpants has this very egotistical, over-the-top, I'm a superhero type voice, and Ed Helms just hits it pitch perfect. Every tone is great, and everything's fantastic about his portrayal of Captain Underpants. Would have liked something different for Mr. Krupp, but I suppose finding someone who can actually do both is kind of a big order. By far, I think the plot of the movie is its weakest element. This plot was just kind of weak. It was kind of lacking and unfocused. Captain Underpants himself was a big issue for me. He was kind of a side character in his own movie. Like I said, it's unfocused to the point where I don't know what the moral of the movie is supposed to be. I kind of would have liked this movie to hold itself back on plot. I kind of get the feeling that they felt this was the only Captain Underpants movie that they were going to make, and hey, honestly, it probably might be. And that they were adding references from a bunch of the different books. Like, they skipped right to the fourth book for the villain. I don't know, for a series that's like 20 years old, aimed at kids, I'm not really sure if this movie is for adults like me who grew up with the series. Probably not, definitely not. It's probably for you know, the younger kids who are going to see and who are watching cartoons now. But I still feel like the plot just wasn't strong enough for like a high recommendation. I think overall, just because the plot is so weak and unfocused, I can't really give this much higher than a 2 out of 5. I still think great animation. I had fun watching the movie. It's just not a movie I can ever see myself watching again or really recommending to many people. I've been Léo Melanson here for Rough Cuts. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you around.